Hello, I'm Heyong Shen, Jungian analyst from China, the president of China Society for Analytical Psychology. It's my honor to participate in this special conference, Jung's Red Book for Our Time, Searching for Soul under Postmodern Conditions at Eranos, the place of well-known East and West round the table, which has such historical significance. The title of my presentation will be C.G. Jung's Red Book, The Spirit of the Depths and the Knowledge of the Heart. Now I would like to introduce the background and my preparation for this presentation. I remember when Morris Stern invited me to join this project 5 years ago, she mentioned the uncertainty of the world today, and we discussed about the shadow issues that threaten any sense of coherent meaning personally and collectively. It's really just have a look of the last year 2020, especially the COVID-19 in the world. I wrote a paper for Jung's Red Book for Our Time for the first volume of 2017 with the title, Why the Red Book is Red. Why the Red Book is Red? I started with Mei Ling, who introduced or influenced Jung's idea of his Red Book. It is called the Cinnabar Book because, according to ancient Chinese belief, that the red is the color of the garments of those who have reached the highest stage of perfection and stayed behind on earth for the salvation of mankind. This is a quote from Mei Ling. The red and the Red Book for somehow is really related to Chinese culture. Inside of that, there is the secret of the golden flower. The secret of the golden flower conveys the secret of the spirit of the depths and the knowledge of the heart. In 2018, I gave the free lecture with the theme of psychology of the heart and the heart of Jungian analysis, almost like prepared for this presentation, the spirit of the depths and the knowledge of the heart. In 2019, I came to a corner for the Eranos conference, the Golden Knot, East and West in the global time, in the global world. I gave a speech with the title, Occident and Orient, the North, the Mean, and the Heart, a perspective from the psychology of the heart. Now we have black books. I read through of them, and I will use some inspirations with further understanding of the topic. Talking about the spirit of the depths, as Jung described, quote, let devotion to the ideals of this time die out in me. He forced me down to the last and simple things, unquote. This is from the start of the Red Book, the way of what is to come. Following the spirit of the depths, Jung encountered with the unconscious and the soul. That's the moment, a very important moment for Jung and for depth psychology. The spirit of the depths opened my eyes, and I caught a glimpse of the inner sense, the world of my soul, the manifold and the changing. That's Jung's words. The words and the image in the Red Book for the spirit of the depths is so close to the image of the Chinese character for depths and the spirit of the depths. As Jung described, the image of Chinese characters and the I Ching are readable archetypes. So I will use these characters as threads for further exploration for the meaning of the spirit of the depths. I can tell you now, the ancient Chinese character for depths, it is combined by the image of a cave and a man who hold a torch. A man in a cave with a torch, carrying the image of exploring the spirit of the depths, just like Jung described in his Red Book. And Jung draw the picture exactly like the character of Chinese for depths, is synchronicity and mystery. Following this thread, I will go into the wisdom and archetype image of I Ching. For the image of the Chinese character of depths conveys the secret of I Ching. But it is through I Ching that the sages study the great depths and examine minutes, the science of all things. Only with the spirit of the depths, the sages can be insightful of all minds and the wills under heaven. This recorded in the great commentary of I Ching, that Confucius himself using these words to transmit the secret of the Tao of I Ching. Just as Jung wrote in his Red Book, the spirit of the depths spoke to me. You are an image of the unending world. All the last mysteries of becoming and passing away live in you. If you did not possess all of this, how could you know? That's quote from the Red Book. In Chinese, we use the image of heart for soul, or heart and soul. So let's go further for the spirit of the depths and the knowledge of the heart. The Chinese name for psychology, 心理学, looks like heartology. Reading from left to right. If someone reads it from right to left, turning the other way round, its meaning is learning the truth of the heart. The meaning of the heart is the core of Chinese culture, as well as for Chinese philosophy and psychology. Most of the basic psychological terms in Chinese characters are formed originally with the images of the heart and contain deep meaning for depth psychology and Jungian analysis. C.G. Jung learned I Ching and the Chinese characters. He once described them as readable archetypes. In the Red Book, Jung wrote, "One would like to learn this language, but who can teach and learn it? Scholarliness alone is not enough. There is a knowledge of the heart that gives deep insight." We know that Pascal once said, "The heart has its reason, of which reason does know nothing." In the echo of Pascal, C.G. Jung wrote, "Scholarliness belongs to the spirit of this time, but this spirit in no way grasps the dreams, since soul is everywhere that the scholarly knowledge is not." The Chinese characters for thinking, emotion, will, and intention are all combined with the image of the heart, so as for love, hate, compassion, virtue, listening, healing, and for wise, wisdom, and enlightenment. I will show these images and make analysis in the presentation. We have over 1,000 classical characters with the image of the heart in the history. That's naturally formed a special system of the knowledge of the heart. The heart, with its image and meaning, is the heart of Chinese culture and philosophy. When Confucius was asked to use just one word to represent his whole teaching and thought, he gave the character of Shu, forgiveness. The image of the character conveys the meaning of the same heart or following the heart. The Taoist tradition has beautiful image for the empty heart and the related significance metaphors. For example, the story of fasting of the heart by Zhuangzi, which C.G. Jung quoted and used for several times. The Chinese Zen Buddhism has its original name in Chinese as Heart Sect, carry on the fundamental teaching from heart to the heart and enlightening of the heart nature, so close related to the knowledge of the heart. So the heart is the heart of Chinese culture, even the Chinese character for culture as well as for civilization, language, and literature is with the image of the heart as the core. People know the story of C.G. Jung and the Mountain Lake in 1924. Jung traveled to America, they have a dialogue, and the Mountain Lake said, "You are a white man, you are mad." Jung asked Mountain Lake, "Why?" And the Mountain Lake said, "Because you say you are thinking with your head." And Jung said, "Why, of course," and asked him in surprise, "What do you think with?" Mountain Lake replied, "We think here." And he indicated his heart. Jung said, quote, I fell into a long meditation," Jung said. "This Indian had struck a vulnerable spot, unveiled a truth of which we are blind. I felt rising within me like a shapeless something unknown and yet deeply familiar. Something else," the Mountain Lake said to C.G. Jung, and Jung said, "That's almost the turning point of his thinking, and that's a peculiar atmosphere of his special point of view, thinking with the heart." The story is recorded in Memory Dreams reflected by C.G. Jung. C.G. Jung learned I Ching and the Chinese characters, and I mentioned that he once described them as readable archetypes. Recently, we have the book by Heyong Foundation, The Art of Heyong, we can have a look of the Chinese character Heyong cut in a stone for Tony Wolff. Andrew Heyong once asked me to translate these Chinese characters into English, and I did. 3 versions, word by word, poetic, and symbolic level. C. Heyong wrote in his red book, "But how can I attain the knowledge of the heart?" You can attain this knowledge only by living your life to the full. At the same time, Heyong wrote, "One would like to learn this language, but who can teach and learn it?" As I mentioned, and for Heyong, the knowledge of the heart can give deeper insight. For this presentation, for Eranos conference and 22nd, I will present and explore the related image and meaning to make my contribution to the theme, Heyong's red book for our time, searching for soul and postmodern conditions. Thank you. Thank you for your participation and looking forward to seeing you then.